Happy Valentine's Day from the living room of the requests. This is a request, very romantic, from David to Sue.
Thank you so much for supporting us. And thank you to everybody for watching.
Yes, if you are watching. I've got a pal, a regular out and outer. She's a dear, good old gal. I'll tell you all about her. It's many years since first we met. Her hair was then as black as jet. It's whiter now, but she don't fret. Not my old gal. We've been together now for 40 years, and it don't seem a day too much. There ain't a lady living in the land as I'd swap for my dear old Dutch. There ain't a lady living in the land as I'd swap for my dear old Dutch. I calls her Sal Sue, her proper name is Sarah, and you may find a gal as you'd consider fairer. She stuck to me through thick and thin, when luck was out and luck was in. What a wife to me she's been, and what a pal. We've been together now for 40 years, and it don't seem a day too much. There ain't a lady living in the land as I'd swap for my dear old Dutch. There ain't a lady living in the land as I'd swap for my dear old Dutch. I sees you, Sal, you pretty ribbon sporting. Many years now, old gal, since them young days of courting. I ain't a coward, still I trust. When we've to part as part we must, that death may come and take me first to wait, my pal. We've been together now for 40 years, and it don't seem a day too much. There ain't a lady living in the land as I'd swap for my dear old Dutch. There ain't a lady living in the land as I'd swap for my dear old Dutch. Ooh, I like the way that 12-string rang. I don't know if it picked it up or what, but
Several interesting. First, happy Valentine's Day
Happy
to everybody
Valentine's
watching,
Day.
whatever
And-
you're doing.
and to David and Sue. And David suggested that, you know, maybe Paul might like to sing it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe about me? I don't know.
He doesn't refer to you as that.
He doesn't know. He calls me, well, anyway. But
Tell him about what it means.
it's lovely. Well, if
As you
you
probably
don't
know about the old
as
Cockney
you probably
songs,
know.
this being one of the earliest of that period, one of the earliest within the general repertoire that people regard as such.
The Cockney Songbook, such as our friend Tom Carradine, his Cockney sing along. He'll know this one off by heart. But it's from 1892. Is it 1892?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, it's Cockney rhyming slang.
Yeah. When I was growing up, there's Old Dutch potato crisps, which I used to read. The D was very stylized, and I always thought it said Old Ouch. as a child for the longest time, and I wondered why. Anyway, Old Dutch is a thing, but yeah, Old Dutch, it's Cockney rhyming slang for either Dutch plate for mate, Duchess of Fife for wife, or Dutch house for spouse. Who knows? Write in the comments which one of those three.
Duchess
all
of
three.
Fife.
Wife.
I think it's Duchess of Fife, but it's shortened to Duchess. Dutch.
Certainly, Paul, my husband, really loves the idea of a wife. He sometimes just calls me wife. I've got a wife. He likes it.
There's the YouTuber.
Husband seems somehow so serious.
On Stuff Made Here, his channel, he also says wife.
But if I have
wife.
That's
Have you noticed that? There's a guy on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, he always just says wife this, wife that. Anyway,
Wife.
About the from the musical point of view, as people mentioned that 1892. An interesting turning point between various styles of piano writing in published sheet music for various reasons. Namely, the first observation that Patricia made, he said, "Oh, it almost sounds like an art song or some kind of parlor song."
When you listen to the old 78s.
And that's not how people consider it, in a music hall or, like a vaudeville context, which was, play lots of notes, make them very clear, make it short, get on with it, sort of thing.
I have to say, I apologize to David. He wanted it to be feathers instead of ribbons sporting. But I like ribbons because feathers makes you think of kind of the good old days and all the sort of satin and that look of the sort of revival, music hall revival, whereas ribbons harks back
Pretty
earlier.
Victorian and one in Georgia.
Yeah. It harks back earlier and makes it sound more, of the time. So I liked
Let's
ribbons.
pose for a thumbnail while we're here.
Oh, yes. We keep forgetting to do this.
Happy Valentine's Day. And we're going to say, I just want to say a few more things about music in the 1890s. Firstly, that if you hear the recording of Albert Chevalier, he's probably didn't pronounce it like that, did he?
I wonder.
Himself reminds me of the sort of singer that Papageno has written for in Magic Flute. So you'll notice the melody's not... Well, you wouldn't notice unless you're looking at this piece of music and you can read music. But when one is looking at the piece of music and can read music, rather than the melody being completely doubled in the piano, that wasn't uncommon in music from that period, it's only slightly partially doubled sometimes. It's just much more like you get in art songs, and also gives you a key to how you would arrange. You see how people do these arrangements all the time, obviously in those days, they knew it wasn't just like Spotify music here always. People say, I need this, I need that arrangement.
Every time it's played, it's different, yeah.
So, but when they came to do the arrangement, all of the basics are there in the piano. So you can really imagine a larger band. Well, I can imagine a larger band version of this because so much of the way that it's arranged is sketched out. Where I'm going with this is to say that in this type of music, there's a lot of subtlety there, which you probably just heard strum. But I was trying to get some of that going across. You heard
all the subtleties because your living room requests, select few. We have a small audience, but a discerning one.
And that's just worth noting that whilst Albert wasn't obviously the most virtuosic, soloist, and as they wrote it down, they requested that the melody be slightly sketched out in the piano. The guy who composed the music, Charles Ingle, was actually kind of like really detailed and subtle as a little.
Oh, it's very
composer.
interesting.
Now, the most interesting thing to me is, what's that say again?
Oh yes, it's really old. Strepitoso.
Never played a piece of music.
Probably the root of the word
that.
obstreperous, I would think. Yeah.
It means bash the piano loud, like a Victorian.
It's chords, dot, 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 but only for that bit, only for those two bars. It's not the rest of it. It's it's got a lot of music in here.
It's because...
It's a beautiful tune.
We've said, ain't it lady living in the land of sweet friend? There ain't a lady living in... It's like we keep repeating it. So
because
by that point, the only way to do that is just
upon.
bash the piano. Right, they're the interesting points that I wanted to draw out. I mean, you could just play it anyway.
No, it was very interesting. The first time I met Matt Redman here was in 2010, when he was still at...
It was 2009.
Was it?
Yeah.
Really?
Or maybe we didn't physically meet until
No,
early
we
2010.
started emailing. Actually through YouTube direct message, which existed then. Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. But then when we met up, it was 2010, and I showed him the sheet music, and he just started seeing things within it and making all these details. Like that would be, I could imagine that would have an accordion, and I can see that writing involves, and I just like, wow, I've never seen anybody take a piece of old sheet music from the popular idiom so seriously. And not just
that's what the guys did then.
Hammer it immediately into whatever sound world he already was in. In other words, he took it and went, what is it telling me? And what can I learn from this? And what can I bring to it of the varied things that I'm interested in and continue to be interested in? It was immediately a two-way conversation between and I just went, wow.
It's interesting stuff. There's a lot of detail in there, and all these, because these people wrote these things and they went out far and wide. It wasn't just like in their bedroom. There's one thing that I wanted to mention.
Sorry, I'm not very cockney, by the way.
Final thing
just did it.
Is the use of the chord 2 minor 7 chord, as frequently employed in the jazz sound world, the goalposts, I would say, of the jazz sound world. Whilst we might in other composers of the period get quite commonly
the chord 2 minor 7.
I'm about to play it. You might get a chord 2 minor, right? But no, minor 7 in this case. Here we go. It's got a little bit more.
It's homey.
Well, it already anticipates a tonic, which in
friendly.
In a classical sense.
If you're anticipating the tonic, it's friendly.
Composers of the age before might count as an unprepared dissonance.
Literally your home.
As opposed to. So I noticed that straight away. Do you know what I mean? It feels softer, doesn't it?
Yeah, softer, more homey. Home is soft. This is like real. What do you call that thing? People call podcast type stuff.
Well, we don't do one of those, so
talky,
it's
talky,
just
talky.
after the
you
song.
get a podcast after the song, essentially.
It's just in case people think we just play the song
chat.
And then just go.
Can't get into podcasts. It's just a bunch of people going like blah 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 blah, and you're like, I came here to listen about building foundations, and you guys are talking about James Bond. Like what gives?
I don't know. Comment below if you're signed into to YouTube. Comment below about what appeals to you personally about podcasts. If you're a podcast fan, I'm guessing not a lot of people will be massively into them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be spending this long on YouTube.
But they just wander all over. But then apparently that's what people like about them, which is fair enough. Good. Well, this is our wandering.
Yeah, we gave you your song, and then we're going.
Anyway.
Go to Instagram, Patricia Hammond Songs, because that way, it's just a weird thing about the internet and the algorithms at the moment. But seeing photos of that helps people know that they have a video coming up. It's really weird, but that's how it is.
It is weird. No, I just show the dress and then people watch the video. That seems to be how it works. I found some wonderful old postcards to go with Tiny Seed of Love, and it got like 6 likes, and then I put myself in the dress and it got like 38 likes. I don't know what it is, but thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, and we appreciate you for sending in requests, and happy Valentine's Day. Red dress, red sweater. It's a whole red thing.
If you would like to request your own, though, we love all the requests for Davey and Sue, and obviously have made up a large proportion of recent times.
Yeah, really useful songs too that we've used later,
Of course.
Yeah.
All music has its sort of thing. You go to patriciahammond.com/requests. Or
you desire.
Go to the link in this description, click on it, and there you can pay £40 on PayPal and request it. Right, that's a long video. Let's end it there.
It was very long.
See you later. Bye-bye. Take care.